Hey y'all, welcome back to my Southern Rustic kitchen, and welcome if you are new. This week I made some easy and delicious dinner classics. So let's head on into the kitchen and let's make some delicious meals. Now I'm starting this week off with making a super easy and delicious summer salad. Now this is my summer sausage salad. It's so easy and delicious. You can add whatever kind of vegetables that you like or prefer and whatever amount that you want. So to my bowl here, I've got some summer sausage that I just got chopped up into cubes. I've got everything kind of small diced. Then I'm going to add in some bell pepper, some cheese, olives, carrots, some green onions, and some cucumber, also some jalapenos and pepperoncinis. But like I said, you can mix any kind of vegetables that you want. Once you get that all into your bowl, you're just going to add some Italian dressing. Now I like to use Italian dressing for this, but you can do whatever kind of dressing that you want. I know they have different flavors of Italian dressing, so that's an option as well. I wouldn't do anything like ranch or Thousand Island or something like that. I would use something more of a vinegar based dressing. So once you get that all in there, just kind of mix it up, put a lid on it or put some plastic wrap on the top and just kind of let it hang out in the fridge for a couple of hours or until you are ready to eat. And this travels really well, so you can take this to like picnics or get-togethers or something like that.
Will I cry? Will I leave behind broken and crumbled signs, hiding all my roads to you? Uh-oh. And if I fight, will I come to life?
Now here I've just made some deviled eggs to go with it. I put some water in my pot, brought that up to a boil, added some eggs down in there, and then cooked it for about 7 minutes. I turned the heat off and I left it in there for another 7 to 8 minutes, and then put them in some cold water and then peeled them. Took the centers, the yellow yolks out of the eggs, and put them in this bowl. And to the egg yolks, I'm going to add some mayo, mustard, salt, pepper, and some diced pickles, but you can add whatever kind of fixings, I guess you could say, into your deviled egg. So I'm just going to mix that up really well, make sure it's all nice and combined, and then I'm just going to spoon it into the center of the eggs.
I will stay to find every hidden sign, taking all my roads to you. Uh-oh. And I will fight, I will come to life, calling for all your lights, giving my light back to you. Uh-oh.
here is my plate. I just have the summer sausage salad here along with some deviled eggs and some sauerkraut. This was so easy to make, very filling, and absolutely delicious. Alright, today I am making penne with vodka sauce. I've had this recipe for such a long time. It is a 1950s style of making penne with vodka sauce, but it's very, very easy. To my pan here, I'm just going to add some olive oil, onion, salt, and pepper, and I'm going to cook this down about 5 to 6 minutes, just until the onion is nice and tender. Alright, now that the onions are nice and tender, I'm going to go ahead and add in some garlic. I got about 2 cloves of garlic here that I've just got minced up. I'm going to add that to the pan and let that cook down for about 30 seconds. Now that the garlic has cooked down, I'm going to turn my heat off. I'm going to add in my diced tomatoes, my vodka, and some red pepper flakes, and I'm going to mix this up, and I'm going to let this simmer on about low heat for about 10 minutes.
Wanna look at you all night, put you in that spotlight. Oh, you know you're beautiful, you know you're beautiful, and it's like you're untouchable.
While the sauce is simmering away, I'm going to go ahead and put my pasta in to boil. I've got some salted boiling water sitting over to the side. I'm just going to add that in there and let that cook for about 8 to 9 minutes, just shy of al dente, because it's going to finish cooking when we add it into the sauce. Now the sauce has thickened up, I'm going to go in and add in some cream, give that a little mix, add in some torn basil, mix that up again, some salt and pepper, and then we're going to add in our pasta.
Oh, you make me feel fine. Wanna look at you all night. Wanna put you in that spotlight. Oh, you know you're beautiful. You know you're beautiful, and it's like you're untouchable, like you're untouchable. Don't you know? You know you're beautiful. You know you're beautiful. I'll sing until my lungs give out. You're beautiful.
Now, as you see here, I'm just adding in my pasta. If your sauce has thickened up too much, you can go in and add some of that pasta water to thin it out. And then once you get your pasta in there, you're going to sprinkle over some grated Parmesan cheese on top of the pasta, and then just kind of mix that all together. Make sure it's all nice and combined. And then this is ready for dinner.
Looking at you all night, all night. I'll sing until my lungs give out. You're beautiful.
Now here is my bowl of pasta. You can serve this with whatever kind of protein that you like. Typically I would do grilled chicken or a steak, maybe some shrimp, but whatever kind of protein that you want to go with it, it will be absolutely delicious. But I just kept it simple today and just had the pasta. For tonight's dinner, I am making a cornbread tamale pie. This is a oldie but a goodie. I had this all the time growing up, and I make it now for my family. So we're going to start out by making the cornbread topping that goes on the top first, because I want this to sit and soak in that liquid so that cornmeal gets a little soft. So to my bowl here, I'm going to combine the cornmeal, flour, salt, pepper, sugar, and baking powder, and I'm going to whisk that together until it's nice and combined. To my milk, I'm going to add my egg and some oil, and I'm going to whisk that up really well, and then I'm going to combine the two. Once I've combined the two, I'm going to mix that together until it's all nice and kind of combined. If you have a few like lumps in there, that's fine. You're going to let this sit for about 20 minutes anyway, so it's going to soak up all of that liquid and get nice and soft.
Hey, now you know you have to decide, and you gotta tell me what's on your mind. Wait a while, you gotta take a deep breath. I can make you smile when I let you into my bed and under my skin. But where will it end if I let it begin? It's trick or treat. You know life's too short, so let's not waste another minute. Hey, it's alright.
Moving on to the meat mixture. So to my skillet here, I have it over medium-low heat. I'm going to use some bacon fat, but you can use any kind of neutral oil that you want. I like the flavor that it gives using the bacon fat, but like I said, use any kind of oil that you want. So to my skillet, I'm adding that. I'm going to add in a pound of ground beef. You can also do chicken or turkey. Either one will work just fine. I'm also going to add in some salt and pepper, along with a bell pepper and an onion. Those are diced. So I'm just going to add those in there, kind of break that apart, mix it together with my spoon, and I'm going to let that cook for about 6 to 8 minutes, just until the ground beef is cooked through and the onions and the bell pepper are tender.
Hey, it's alright now, but I don't know if I can take another go round.
Alright, now that the bell peppers and the onions are tender and the ground beef is cooked through, I'm going to add in some chili powder, cumin, salt, and pepper. I'm going to mix that up and let those spices toast for about 30 seconds or so, just until they are nice and fragrant.
I thought you'd always be mine. Oh yeah. I guess our dreams fell asleep. There's no passion in the comatose. Baby going down, 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 down. Baby going down, 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 down. Tried so hard to stay afloat. Yeah, we keep moving like the river goes. Baby going down, 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 down. Yeah. And I thought, it's time I'm letting you go. This time I know it for sure. I just thought I should let you know. Yeah, now, no words, no more, no. I got so high on a low. That's when I loved you the most. Now I thought I should let you know. Yeah, now, no words, no more, no. I really thought we had it covered. Was gonna patch up all the scars, but we smashed up all the parts. Oh, na, na, na. Always knew that you were stubborn, but didn't know it'd be so hard to figure out who you really are.
Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and add in some tomato sauce, beef broth, corn, and black beans. I'm going to mix this up really well, and I'm going to let this simmer on about medium-low for about 15 minutes.
Down, down, down. Yeah. And I thought, it's time I'm letting you go. This time I know it for sure. Just thought I should let you know. Yeah, now, no words, no more, no. I got so us no more.
Alright, so I've got my oven preheated to 425 degrees. This has reduced down quite a bit, and I'm going to go ahead and pour over that cornbread mixture all over the top. Make sure it's even. You don't have to like spread it around with a spoon. It will puff up when it's baking. So I'm going to go ahead and pour that on there, pop this in the oven, and I'm going to bake this for about 20 to 25 minutes, just until that cornbread topping is cooked through. I'm going to remove it. I'm going to let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes before we serve.
This time I know it for sure. Just thought I should let you know that no, it's no more, no. I got so high on a hill. That's when I loved you the most. I thought I should let you know.
Alright, here is my plate. I just have the cornbread tamale pie here. We had some leftover summer sausage salad, so I just had that along with it, and some sauerkraut, and this was absolutely delicious and very filling. For dinner tonight, I am making something that my mom used to make all the time growing up. It's called Paul Bunyan subs. They're very easy. They're kind of reminiscent of Sloppy Joes, but different. You'll see what I'm talking about in just a minute. But we're going to start out with making some homemade sweet potato chips and some homemade regular potato chips. So I've got some oil here coming up to heat to about 375 degrees on the stove. And I've got some thinly sliced sweet potatoes and regular potatoes. We're just going to add these into the hot oil, let them crisp up for about a minute or two. You'll be able to tell when they're nice and crispy. They'll turn like a golden brown color. Then just remove those to a sheet tray that's been lined with some parchment in a wire rack. And then you're just going to sprinkle those with a little bit of salt. Alright, moving on to the meat portion. To my skillet here, I have it over medium-low heat. I'm going to add in a pound of ground beef. You can do ground turkey or ground chicken. They both work really well. I'm going to break that apart with my spoon. I'm also going to add in some diced onion, bell pepper, salt, and pepper. I'm going to mix that up, and I'm going to cook this for about 5 to 7 minutes, just until the ground beef is cooked through and the onions and the bell pepper are tender.
With every second I know we build our future, not our past. That's how the story will go.
Now that the ground beef mixture is cooked completely through, I'm going to go in and add some Worcestershire sauce, milk, and cream of mushroom soup, as well as a little bit more salt and pepper. I'm going to mix that through, and I'm going to let this simmer for about 5 minutes just to help it thicken up a little bit. Now for the next step, you want to use some uncut sub buns. I made my own, but you can definitely use store-bought. What you want to do is you want to go in and you want to cut the center of the top out, as well as some of the bread that's in the center. You want to leave some of the bread along the side, so that way it will hold its shape and it won't get as soggy. So go ahead and do that. Fill it up with your burger mixture, top it with cheese, pop this in the oven at 350 degrees for about 10 to 12 minutes, just until that cheese is melted, and then these are ready for dinner. Alright, here is my plate. I just have the Paul Bunyan subs here, as well as some of those homemade chips, and this was absolutely delicious and very, very filling. I used to love this as a kid growing up, just because the name was Paul Bunyan subs. But yeah, this is what we have for dinner. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave me a comment in the comment section down below. And I will see you guys on Tuesday. Bye, guys.